Most men believe strength comes from hope, from believing things will work out, that effort will be rewarded, that tomorrow will be kinder than today. The warrior believed the opposite. He prepared his mind as if everything he valued could be taken from him at any moment, not because he was pessimistic, but because only a man who has already accepted loss can move without fear. In the teachings of Bushido, loss was not a possibility to be avoided, but a certainty to be faced. Miyamoto Musashi wrote that one must become familiar with death in everyday life. This was not a fascination with destruction, but a discipline of clarity. When the mind no longer clings to outcomes, action becomes precise, calm, and unburdened. The warrior's strength began long before the battle, in the quiet acceptance of impermanence. A modern man named Daniel did everything correctly by society's standards. He built a career, maintained relationships, and planned carefully for the future. Yet beneath the structure of his life lived a constant tension, a silent fear of losing what he had worked so hard to build. Every decision carried anxiety, every risk felt dangerous, and every setback felt personal. Daniel did not realize that his suffering came not from loss itself, but from his refusal to accept it as part of life. The samurai understood that attachment creates hesitation, and hesitation creates weakness. To cling is to be controlled. When a man's identity is built entirely on what he might lose, his mind becomes fragile. Miyamoto Musashi lived without permanent shelter, wealth, or security. He trained not only his body, but his relationship to loss itself. In the Dokudo, his final teachings, Musashi wrote that one should accept everything just the way it is. This acceptance was not passive surrender, but disciplined readiness. To be prepared for loss does not mean giving up effort. It means removing the illusion that effort guarantees outcomes. The warrior trained knowing that skill could still fail, that life could still end abruptly, and that reputation could vanish overnight. This awareness sharpened his focus instead of dulling it. Daniel believed preparation meant controlling outcomes. He planned endlessly, rehearsed conversations, and delayed decisions until certainty appeared. Yet certainty never came, only exhaustion. The more he tried to secure his future, the more anxious he became. Zen teaches that control is an illusion created by fear. The warrior did not control life, he aligned with it. By preparing his mind for loss, he freed himself from the need to predict every result. His actions became direct, unhesitating, and complete. The samurai trained loss into the mind through discipline. He woke early, practiced relentlessly, and lived simply. Not because simplicity was virtuous, but because excess creates dependency. Every unnecessary comfort strengthened attachment. Daniel began to understand this when he removed small comforts from his daily life. He stopped seeking reassurance, reduced distractions, and accepted discomfort without complaint. These were not dramatic acts, but quiet ones. Each act weakened his fear of loss and strengthened his presence. In Bushido, death was not a morbid obsession, but a constant teacher. By contemplating death, the warrior stripped life down to what mattered. Pride, comparison, and fear lost their grip when seen against impermanence. Daniel practiced this principle by confronting endings directly. He accepted the possibility of failure in his work, the impermanence of relationships, and the certainty of aging. Strangely, this did not make him colder, it made him clearer. When nothing is guaranteed, every action becomes intentional. Preparedness for loss does not weaken ambition, it purifies it. The warrior acted fully, knowing the result might still be defeat. This is why Musashi emphasized commitment without fixation. One must strike without clinging to victory. Daniel noticed a shift in himself. He spoke more honestly, took necessary risks, and stopped delaying decisions for perfect conditions. The fear of loss no longer dictated his timing. His actions became quieter, firmer, and more deliberate. There was no dramatic moment of triumph, no external validation. The change was internal and unmistakable. Daniel felt less urgency to prove himself and less fear of being undone by circumstances. The warrior's mind is not optimistic or pessimistic. It is prepared. Prepared for loss, prepared for silence, prepared for the moment as it arrives. This preparation creates a calm strength that cannot be shaken by uncertainty. The warrior does not wait for reassurance before acting. He does not demand guarantees from life. By accepting loss in advance, he becomes free to move with clarity and resolve. This is the quiet strength modern men have forgotten, and the discipline that returns them to themselves.